running a $200 Amazon gift card the entire month of July. All you have to do to enter is like this video, be subscribed, turn on your notifications, and leave a comment why you want to win it with your Twitter handle attached. I will announce the winner at the end of the month on Twitter. The 90s is really when the gaming industry started to explode. The growth of home consoles, stunning new graphics, the hardware was capable of more, and gaming was no longer just about high scores or quarters, but rather a true experience with your character. Now, some of these 90s games were so good, they still stand the test of time. What's up, guys? Jimmy here. Welcome to Chaos Top 10s. Today, we're doing something different. We are going to be counting down the top 10 30 best games of the 90s. There's just way too many great games in the 90s to condense it down to a top 10, so I decided to go all in and do a top 30. So show some love if you want to see more, maybe the 80s, maybe the 2000s, more top 20s, top 30s. You guys let me know. Turn on those notifications, turn that bell on, check the box, never miss a new gaming top 10 upload, and let's go. We've got a long ways to go. We're going to be counting down from 30. Kicking off this list, we have Sonic the Hedgehog and the introduction of the Blue Speedster. The first game was a massive success, blending insanely fast platforming with a cool ring mechanic in place of health. And not to mention, the soundtrack was pretty awesome. Seriously, the original Sonic games have arguably the best soundtracks ever to grace the Sega Genesis. This totally could have been higher, I know. At number 29, we have Duke Nukem 3D. It's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum, my friends, and I'm all out of gum. Hands down, the best Duke Nukem game ever. This was what everyone was hoping Duke Nukem Forever was going to be like. Basically a Doom clone with an extra element of hilarious writing and ludicrous situations. Duke Nukem 3D definitely pushed the line of what some say could be done in a video game. Girls, gore, and countless profanities made this game totally awesome. At number 28, we have Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness. A lot of people forget that before there was a World of Warcraft, the series was simply called Warcraft. Well, Warcraft 2 was one that put the series on the map and is pretty much single-handedly responsible for birthing WoW a few years later. Warcraft 2 was an RTS game set in a fantasy world that drew millions of PC players in and made the series popular enough to experiment with an MMO. And you all know how that ended up. At number 27, we have Quake. While many point to Doom being the game that laid out how FPS games were meant to be played, Quake was the game that showed how FPS games were meant to be online. Quake was insane. Developed by the same team as Doom, Quake was rendered with full 3D visuals, allowing for a deeper gameplay and more detailed maps. If you enjoy an online FPS games, you owe a lot of that enjoyment all the way back to Quake in 1996. Why haven't we gotten another Star Wars Flight Simulator game yet? Come on, answer me this. At number 26, we have Star Wars TIE Fighter. These were amazing. Star Wars TIE Fighter was part of the X-Wing series, but allowed you to take control of the Empire instead of the Rebellion, giving you a brand new perspective on the galactic war with new ships, deeper mechanics, and improved visuals. This game was the closest we ever felt to piloting our own Star Wars ship, and honestly, no game to date has even come close to what Star Wars TIE Fighter had to offer back in '94. At number 25, we have Mario Kart 64.
I don't even know what this fucking video is about, to be honest. What is it? 10 top 30 best video games of the 90s.
Mario Kart games were very simple, but still fun. However,
what are your thoughts? What are my thoughts? I don't have any thoughts.
New items, tons of courses, awesome 3D graphics.
I take this guy's word as gospel. Who is this guy? The Chaos.
If you've never played
Chaos.
Mario Kart 64, go get it. It is pretty much on every Nintendo Virtual Console, so you definitely have access to it, and you won't regret it. At number 24,
hold on, to be honest,
it is pretty much 96th game in the series. It definitely is the one that made the series, honestly, it did.
What?
Up to this point, the Mario Kart games were very simple.
This guy thinks Mario Kart 64 is better than Mario Kart. What the fuck are you on about?
Mario Kart 64 was released in
Dickhead.
96. Everything changed. New items, tons of courses,
That is
3D graphics,
epic,
and gameplay
epic
that paved the
failure.
way for future titles. If you've never played Mario Kart 64, go get it. It is pretty much on every Nintendo Virtual Console, so you definitely have access to it, and you won't regret regret it.
Definitely do not.
At
I
number
definitely
24,
wouldn't
we have
regret it.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night. One of the most
24.
unfortunately forgotten franchises in gaming history is Castlevania, although it does have a Netflix series coming out, I believe. Released for the
It's
PC
already
in
out.
1997,
When was this?
Symphony of the Night
Yeah,
was the first
we'll
in the
give
series
him
to
that
feature
one.
non-linear
July
level design. It
2017.
had tons of hidden secrets. Many gamers even got so far to say that Symphony of the Night is the most secret-filled game of all time. The best game in the series, and one of the best games for PS1, Symphony of the Night definitely deserves a spot on this list. The title that put Epic Games on the map is our 23rd entry today in the form of Unreal Tournament. Redefined online shooters. I mean, it was amazing. It was released in '99 and blew people's minds. Great graphics, awesome weapons, fast-paced arena gameplay, and improving on just about every aspect of the FPS standards that Quake had established just 3 years earlier. Unreal definitely earns its spot in gaming history thanks to the excellent map design and the perfection of the first Unreal Engine, which we've seen updated time and time and time again over the years, and we've seen it used a ton in modern gaming. I think this is safe to say one of the best series of all time. Number 22.
For me,
Metal
one of
Gear
the
Solid.
most
The first game
overrated
released all the way back in
series
98 for the PC
of
and
all
PS1,
time, to be
and
honest.
it seriously changed the game and redefined the stealth genre, which was
I
a
thought
genre
the
that really
first
blew under the
game
radar
was
in mainstream gaming. Metal Gear Solid was insanely innovative with its new
mediocre,
mechanics, gameplay,
really.
software
It's
capabilities,
alright,
and
it's
excellent
alright.
level design. Metal Gear
It's
Solid
not
was
mediocre,
really
it's better than
the
average,
first truly
but
cinematic game as the developers wanted
eat
it to
my
seem like
shitbox
you
out.
were playing a movie, and they did. They captured it. Man, I have some history with this one at number 21. StarCraft is kind of part
Never played
it's
it.
part of the origination story. What
Boring.
other game has a mecha Hitler? Wolfenstein 2, everything
Boring.
the original Sonic game, the spiritual successor BioShock, was released down your spine is taken.
Sonic
They're
2.
suffering
Fucking
and
fuck
infected.
Sonic
It
2.
didn't sell very fancy
Eat
games of
my
its time.
fucking
The
dick.
most realistic and detailed FPS of the decade, Half-Life was the best-selling PC shooter ever at the time.
Yeah, ever.
Okay, this is our first rareware title on the list at number 16.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey
Country.
Dong.
It was released in 1994 for the Super NES. It was DK's first solo outing. The game was just plain amazing. The platforming, the music, the characters. DK Country single-handedly saved the Super NES as it was starting to struggle against the Sega Genesis and the rise of Sonic the Hedgehog. DK Country went on to be regarded as one of the best platformers ever made and is the second best-selling SNES game of all time.
SNES, cause I can't say SNES, cause I'm fucking American.
Okay, we're halfway home. We've made it to the top 15.
Fuck you,
At number 15, we
addicting
have
cunt.
the game Super Metroid. Released in 1994 for the Super NES, Super Metroid was really the game that redefined open-ended platforming.
prefer,
all the time.
Super
Most
Meat
all
Boy.
platformers were linear and straightforward.
No, I
But
don't,
Super
to be
Metroid
honest,
turned
I
that
don't.
style on its head and gave us
Okay.
our first taste of true open-world platforming hybrids. Super Metroid and Castlevania Symphony of the Night went on to create the Metroidvania genre of platformers, which feature open.
I don't think they did. I
designs.
think somebody
Super
else
Metroid was
invented
insanely
that
popular, but
genre.
unfortunately, wasn't
To
as
be
much of a
honest.
financial success as Mario and Zelda. It wouldn't get
Because
another
games
sequel
can't
for 8
invent
years
genres
before we finally got
themselves
the release of
because
Metroid
they're not
Prime.
real.
Okay,
They're
number
not
14,
like
Pokemon is
self-aware.
easily the biggest
Otherwise,
handheld
like they
series
would
in
take
gaming
over the
history.
world and
And we're
shit.
going to talk about Pokemon Red and Blue. It all started with Red and Blue, released in '96 in Japan and '97 in North America. These games not only put the Pokemon series on the map, but was able to create a style of RPG that
Fuck
even the youngest of
Pokemon.
gamers could
Fucking
station.
gee, I'm not
In
emo. Fuck
1998,
what?
Spyro the Dragon was released and featured some of the
You
most beautiful
fuck
and
off.
best Final Fantasy
Yeah,
games of the
okay,
90s, though.
yeah.
Final Fantasy VII was released in
Yeah.
'97 for the PS1.
We'll give you that one.
With this series, one of the longest running
Run around collecting cabbages. Meh.
But
Are we up into the top 10 here or
down
what?
to the of all time. Get it down to
Oh,
the top
10.
10.
I'm
Let me know if
fucking-
you are
I'm
enjoying
good, I
these
am,
top
tell
30
you.
lists. They're massive, but they're a lot of fun. All right, here we go.
Pardon me.
Street Fighter 2. And the first Street Fighter had pretty much been forgotten as it was incredibly basic. It only had 2 characters, although if we're being honest, it's probably the
Love the
most game ever made.
best Street Fighter.
In '91, the series had a massive makeover with the arcade release of Street Fighter II: The World Warrior. Ever wonder why there's so many fighting games released in the early to mid-90s? Well, you have Street Fighter II to thank for that. Super smooth gameplay, an awesome character roster, and the later released Championship Edition and Super Street Fighter II Turbo that is still played competitively to this day. Street Fighter 2 is the best-selling and most important fighting game in history. It is. It really is. If you like fighting games, you owe Street Fighter 2 a huge fat thank you. At number 9, we have Banjo-Kazooie, regarded by many.
No, I don't like these. No, I do not like these fucking shit rap 3D
we're getting into the
platforms.
gritty here, so not everything can be in a certain spot. Number 8.
Hold on, did you just say?
Into the gritty here, so
oh,
not everything can be in a certain
gritty. I
spot.
thought it said nitty gritty there. You can't say nitty gritty, that's racist.
For Nintendo, and it's originally, well, it originally wasn't going to be made. A fighting game featuring Nintendo's lovable, family-friendly characters doesn't sound like a success. Lead designer Masahiro Sakurai really had to fight to get this game made, and even famously made a prototype of the game to present to
Bores
Nintendo
me, to be
execs.
honest. Very
Project was Resident Evil.
shallow
The original
shit.
Resident Evil came out in 1996 for the PS1. It scared the crap out of just about everybody that played it. I remember it.
The original Resident Evil is better than Street Fighter 2.
Completely redefined the survival horror genre, and its holds a Mortal Kombat single-handedly
what?
created the ESRB rating.
No. The original Mortal Kombat is not better than Street Fighter 2. Are you having a fucking giraffe? What is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus.
It was awesome to this day. The original MK has super smooth
That
graphics,
is-
surprisingly
that's
deep mechanics. Sure,
ridiculous.
The world was released in 90 in Japan, down to 5. At number 5.
Meh,
genre
predictable.
completely explode, going on to be one of the best-selling, most copied, and most important video games ever created. Released all the way back in
I'd rather
93,
play
playing
Street Fighter
Capcom,
than
just
Doom.
plain awesome. If you enjoyed the
I'm just
reboot,
throwing that out there.
Super Mario 64, widely regarded as the best 3D platformer ever made, and perhaps Nintendo's finest creation, Super Mario 64 completely best-selling in 64. Super Mario 64 is with this game. GoldenEye was either way.
Now I'm interested.
Alright,
This
friends,
is number
we've reached
2.
the final two. This could've
What's
went
number
either
1?
way. At number 2, we have GoldenEye 007.
What is
Oh,
number
man.
1?
So many memories with this game. GoldenEye was developed by Rare.
I mean,
released in
I think this
97,
game
marked as one of the
should
most
be
important shooters ever
Up
made.
there,
While
but
Wolfenstein 3D made the genre popular again, and Doom created the successful
a
formula
lot of
for it,
people
GoldenEye marked the transition into a more
go
realistic
against
setting,
migraine
as well as
and
proving that shooters can be
migraine,
popular
headache.
on
Go
consoles.
against headaches, yes.
See, as the main
And,
selling point of the game was its 4-player split
kind
screen
of
multiplayer
make
mode.
out this
It would
game
go
is
on to sell
overrated
8
or some
million
shit. I
copies,
mean, the
making
frame
it
rate is
third
fucking
best-selling Nintendo
dire,
64
but
game ever, and left a hefty
I'm really
impact
interested
on
now.
gaming
Like, number
industry.
1
It
must
was
be
the
Streets
first
of
game
Rage,
to
surely.
feature both a solid single
Surely.
player and multiplayer, as well as technical innovation like context-sensitive hitboxes and the new standard for console multiplayer, until Halo changed the game again in 2001.
No.
We have reached the number 1 spot on
Oh
today's
my god,
best
thank fuck for that. I thought it was going to say Halo was like number 1 and I'd be like, fuck you, but like a Zelda, who gives a shit, you know what I mean? Literally, who gives a shit. So, back we go. Oh, this is interesting. Like, clearly I'm number 1. I've already seen this video, by the way, and I just want to hate on some people in this video. There are some absolute cunts featured in this video. Number 10.
These fine channels and hosts have been selected based on a number of factors, including subscriber counts, monthly views, and personal
How
preference.
big the fucking dick is.
Limit the list to channels that mainly deal with retro gaming and that are English speaking. Thus, we must unfortunately exclude the likes of the game theorists and Jules de Crenier.
Nous allons affronter les dragons.
J'aime bête poisson.
Bizarre, c'était pas comme ça dans mes souvenirs.
Number 10, Ahoy. Let's go on a journey into the heart of gaming. Ahoy seems to have that kind
I've
of
never even heard of this
videos.
this
These
channel,
interesting,
so
impressive in their scope.
whatever.
Personal touch there. Can you go wrong with an optimistic outlook?
This guy,
Game critic.
like, I don't know. At one point, yes, he was bearable. I don't know. He's just a bit retarded. No, he's not retarded. I don't know. I just something as time's gone on. He just annoys me, to be honest. blah 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 blah.
Number 8, GameZack.
Now here we have a good
GameZack,
channel.
run by Joe and Dave White. GameZack is very much a
Yes, I
balance
like
of
this one.
personality. Reviews feature the duo going back
Kind
and
of
forth
running
on
out
just
of
the
ideas
characters
at the
they've
minute
chosen for
though.
the episode, with their individual preferences and quirks shining through in the commentary. Moreover, each lineup of games is chosen based on a common element, being
And they are,
genre,
you know,
being launch titles for consoles,
good
titles
half-hour
justified
episodes,
with choice.
but
Number
yeah,
7, the Gaming Historian.
we'll move on.
Sometimes
Yeah, I like
if
this
you know
guy,
what the future
but
holds, it's important to look back. Enter
he
Nolan Caruso.
doesn't put out that much
Enthusiast
content,
with
to be
degree in history
honest.
who's never afraid to dive deep into
And I would
games
like to
as
see more stuff
So
from him.
let's dive into the history of
And
the
he's one of those
Famicom
people
Disk
that has changed
What it
his
was,
like hair
why
many
it was
times.
created,
That for some reason that annoys me when people
His work as
change
the
their
Gaming
hair.
Historian definitely has some of the most
Maybe I'm
creative
just
and
being
influential
pedantic
gameplay.
there, but
Caruso has discussed specific developers, intercompany
yeah,
conflicts, and
the
even
hair,
historical
the hair.
basis of certain games.
But yeah,
Thrash your
I,
hair and
like
just
seriously,
as controversial.
Number
yeah. I fucking hate this guy. To be honest, it's not his content, it's the way that the Patreon is just like rammed down your throat at every single fucking opportunity. And the guy doesn't really even do anything. Like, if we look across here, I don't know why I'm pointing, you won't be able to see the point, but if you look across the bottom, well, I can use a mouse, can't I? Like, blatantly, like my content shit, this guy's content shit. It doesn't really do anything. He just gets like other people to come onto his videos, like, oh yeah, and it's just very annoying, to be honest. So you got big nose, big nose, big nose, big nose. Maybe it's retarded Reggie on the left. So yeah, it's one of those things that annoys me, but I still watch it. I don't know why, but not for him. Like, he annoys the shit out of me. Like, maybe some of the people that feature on his channel should just like not work with him. I mean, they do have their own channels and stuff, but yeah, he fucking makes my skin crawl with his Patreon.
bang
And,
your fists, thrash your hair, and enjoy some delightful criticism. Metal Jesus
like,
Rock
clearly,
is one of the
clearly,
on the earth.
fucking clearly, if people are giving this guy money, it does not go back into the videos. The videos have not improved in like the past fucking 7 or 8 years or whatever. They're the exact same fucking quality videos.
Early to mid-90s.
Why give him money? Are you fucking idiots or what?
Talks candidly about the
Hey, it's
choices
retarded
and
Reggie. Hey.
Number 5, lazy game reviews.
Uh,
Commentary, history,
I do like
retro computer games and more.
LGR. I don't know why. It's like I find the guy's voice
Lazy Game
soothing.
Reviews, hosted by Clint Basinger, tackles the wide
Clint
world of early
Basinger.
PC gaming, with a particular attention paid to the 80s.
Spread your
and
legs,
90s.
bitch.
Clint's greatest strength as a critic is his in-depth understanding of the era. He navigates the minutiae of older computing technology with ease, and never ceases to impress with his surplus of facts.
The way it plays with the aesthetic of
I don't know if it was LGR that actually
masterful to the point where
said
having
that
one without
Watch
the other is
Mojo
doable, but why would you do that?
plagiarised his work.
Clint prides himself on seeing the good and noteworthy elements of games.
I might be
even
wrong.
while-
Mode because it's how I've
Skip
Though
along.
the creations of atrocious Nintendo Entertainment System games, though the
Hey,
creations of other
Pat.
Golden Age game companies occasionally
Like, seriously, if we're going to talk about Pat the NES pun, you only watch it for Frank. You know what I mean? It's all about Frank. There's not many actual videos
There's also an awkward jump punch, a
on his
crouch
channel,
punch,
not on
and the ability to
podcast,
crawl
but
right into the control deck to push the power button.
Pat
I
approaches
don't know if
reviews from an
there's
informative
something
Let's
I'm
Play-esque
still
manner,
endearing about
taking the audience
podcasts.
through the history. Appearing initially in 1999,
No, you see, it's classic game rooms are hard one.
before cancellation, but was
Because
revived
it
in
used to be
2008
brilliant when it was simple.
This
It was
is a
just
new
gameplay.
series called
Shut up, Bustler. It was just gameplay and you know, somebody talking over it. And as time's gone on, it got very bloated at one point, and
games
kind of
and
stepped
gaming
away from what
daily,
actually made
though
it
it
good,
doesn't stray away from modern titles
and
either.
it's
Its
kind
big
of
draw is its host,
come
Mark Busse,
back there a
exudes
bit,
confidence
but
when speaking about games and
like
manages
personally I've
to
just
capture
lost the
youthful whimsy
interest,
and
like they
games
had me and then they lost me, it's like, nah. So to be honest, I don't watch it
surreal
anymore.
and unorthodox video reviews.
Who was this guy? John Tron, wasn't it?
Anyone looking for a conventional content
Never
creator
watched him, to
will
be
do well
honest,
turn back now.
and
See, John
from
Tron
what I
directs
see
much
here,
of his
like,
energy
I
to
don't want to
of
watch
the
him.
best variety.
Unlike you. My God, that's so mean.
Ass. The text is so sloppy I can hardly
Yeah,
read it.
APGN's obvious.
He's angry, he's a nerd, and in the early days of criticism as entertainment,
But I'll tell you one thing that does annoy me about this guy. He does these like little kind of informative videos, like behind the scenes, you know, like how I did this and how I did that, and it's like the production value on these videos that you made is fucking garbage, and it's like, yes, we accept it's garbage, and we're fine with that, you know, that's the style, but he will fucking literally sit there and like patronise you, telling you how he made this fucking movie as if it's a fucking masterpiece. Well, I say movie, like he did the movie, but like, you know, separate videos. Well, it goes on like they're fucking masterpieces. They are not. But we like them for that. That, you know, that's the style. But bullshit.
Well, that's our list, but there are probably
Talking
many more
absolute
praiseworthy
bollocks.
retro gaming.
Anyway, back where we are. Back with the hate. I love this hate. Let's just have a look here. Nobody's said anything in the chat yet. What's wrong with you people? Yes, I am ruining game collecting by swearing a lot on fucking YouTube. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if I can get 5 fucking viewers at the minute, I will order fucking special kebab, fucking chips, and just
I didn't take offense to it, but I
and
wanted to put
film
my
it
2
all,
cents in.
stream it.
You know, I'm still pretty new to the world of YouTube.
So this
But
guy,
the channel has grown a lot. So
Titties.
you know, people sort of look to me for
Titties.
input on things.
Don't mind this guy.
I put my 2 cents in. And we
The only thing that annoyed me with this guy was that for some reason, I think it was Bethesda, was sending him games, and I look at what's this video on? I mean, this one's on 44,000 views, but sort of if we go on his channel, hopefully.
Do you like retro and modern video games? Do you like
So this video here, 7,000, 8,000, 25,000.
Then come on over to
They were sending him games to review, and I'm like, really? He's not big enough. Do you know what I mean? Nobody sends me games. I got 2 viewers at the minute. Where are my games at? You know what I mean? If you're gonna send him games, send me fucking games. So yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Why would you send this guy shit? But yeah, like I said, I do like his channel. How many subscribers does he have again? Let's just have a look.
Do you like retro and modern
Nearly.
video games?
He's freeway almost to the amount of views subscribers that Game Chasers have got, and they suck big. And yes, they are ruining. If that is the definition of ruining YouTube, is Game Chasers. This fucking lesbian. Let's just put it out there. Yeah, coffee. Turn it up. See what bitch got to say. Yeah. You've got a window, it's got a blind.
What's happening, guys? Gemma
Not a lot.
here and back again for another video. Apologies for such a tip in here today. This really annoys me. This is
You really annoy me, to be honest.
they're on eBay. Who knows? I don't even know what they're worth in box.
To be honest, there's just something that bugs me about, like, this is a room and half of it's like a game room and the other half is my office, like my lesbian lover's office. Like, I don't know, I don't like to watch that shit. I don't want to see it. Not interested in indie bollocks. 6 overrated retro.
Hey guys,
This is
welcome
going to be
Gaming. I'm
interesting.
Chris.
I am James.
And we've had a lot of fun over the last few months, but it's time we got a little shit serious as a heart attack. Yes, because today we are fully expecting to be killed after saying what we're
I'll
about to
fucking
say.
kill you.
Because we're planning on breaking one of the 3 golden rules of video games. 1, don't mention Half-Life 3. 2, don't look David Cage directly in the eyes. And 3, never ever criticize certain games.
Oh, shit. Okay, so here's our list of 6 overrated games from the yesteryear.
Chris, what are you doing? Now, look, we're not saying these games are bad games.
No, they're not bad.
In fact, they're very good games. They're
I
brilliant
reckon
games.
that they're
Alright, so we drew
probably
straws and I lost, so
amazingly
I'm going
bad.
to present first. Okay, here we go. I think Final Fantasy VII is an overrated game that is more fun to be seen through rose-tinted glasses than actual critical
Just
appreciation.
like one as in
Number 1, you've committed suicide.
number 1
Game over, man.
or
I committed Sudoku.
like
Okay, but
number
listen to my
6.
reasoning, alright? I mean,
I
if you look
don't
at the
know. I
runtime,
guess it's
it
in
takes
no
roughly
particular
40
order.
hours to finish, and that's if you decide to ignore a fair amount of the extras in the game. And I mean, you may be thinking that if anything, that's the gameplay and
Sounds like you're
Straw. Okay, as such. But that trolls just were not fun, not by any standard. You'd spend more time trying to work out which direction the game assumes you want to go than actually moving where you want to go. Of course, this meant
Oh,
that
there's a
you were
reason
caught
why
by
the
zombies or
controls
having to
are like
negotiate with
this.
dogs. You were all the more
If you
scared, but that's
play
not a good thing. You should
Resident
feel
Evil
scared
1
because control
remake
has been
without
taken
tap
away from
controls,
you,
you'll
not because
fucking
your control
realise
was fucked to
why.
begin with.
Shut up about the
I'll give you that
controls.
one. That was frustrating.
I don't need to see every door. Oh, and by the
You
way,
do.
the voice acting is ever so slightly awful.
Stop it.
Like all good horror
Again,
movies.
improvements, loading time.
talking Generation 1.
I thought, yeah,
But,
fuck
you know, it's gotta be
Pokemon,
said,
fuck, like,
it's how we see the world.
literally
It's
fuck
an addictive
Pokemon.
card
Like,
game.
don't actually
Hell,
go
even
out and try
subsequent
and
games
fuck
have managed to get
Pokemon,
us
or get
moved on.
arrested
It
playing
moved on.
Pokemon
When the
Go.
is before Pokemon Red and Blue.
Loves that speedy.
Come on, that's not fair.
Right?
It's
It's a
underrated.
classic of
It's
gaming,
underrated
right?
compared to
Yeah.
fucking Mario.
It
Mario
runs really fast.
is
Yeah, what's
like a
not to like,
hairy
James?
Never
fucking
gonna be
dickhead.
bettered, right? The idea that Sonic was way.
Sonic 3, he did have Michael Jackson on the soundtrack, so, you know.
Sonic games got better, but
You can't even say that. You can't say Sonic 3 had Michael Jackson on the soundtrack because that has never been confirmed. There are similarities, etc., etc., but it's never been confirmed. That's just very, very sweeping statement to make like that.
Everything
That's cool than talking about.
Knuckles the Eureka. The game just turned a thing. People keep on saying that Sonic.
What's this?
But, Chris,
Tomb Raider.
That doesn't detract from the
What
fact that
the
the original
Fuck is that for a neck? What is that for a neck?
was maybe a bit of an average game.
Sacrilege.
Oh.
Now, hold on. I know you're probably all dying and wanting
Now
to
this
talk
is
right now,
a
but
game
again,
where the
think back to
fucking
the titles
controls
released
are
that year,
terrible.
And Tomb Raider was a little dull by comparison. Duke Nukem 3D, Super Mario 60, very little. Lara Croft.
Go through it, right? Let's try and justify this. Previous Zelda dungeons had linked the... You would have
What are we
got
on
sick
here?
of going in draw feature for...
Yeah, is this
is forced down
Ocarina of
for
Time?
one area before your fashion. The same cannot be said of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it's just a cabbage,
The
like,
impression of the open... Just give me the...
picking cabbages simulator.
Not-
And there we go. That
What do
is
you think? We're
like the
expecting
end
a
of
war.
that. No, you fucking certainly should not, you hairy twat. Controversial. Fuck off. Top Hat Gaming Man.
Ladies and gentlemen. Top Hat
To be
Gaming
honest,
Man here, and today I have decided
coming from a
to
guy
do
that's
something
sitting streaming with a fucking balaclava on, this is going to sound very rich. Maybe not as rich as the character portrayed
Today
it.
we are going to be
But
talking about
um,
retro game collecting over
I
the years.
kind of
Personally, I started
don't like this character. Like, But to be honest, if this guy was just posting videos out of character, I would probably enjoy them.
Anyway, I started collecting back in 2000.
And he does
in the days where
kind of a lot of the time he'll spurt out like a paragraph, and I don't know if it's scripted. I imagine it's not scripted. Towards the end, like a couple of lines towards the end, what he's saying, he will break character.
Who cares? This is the big difference.
And you just think,
then and now, because these days,
get rid of the character. The character is annoying. I mean, the guy does actually have a pretty decent collection and things like that, but
and Christmas. You've got stupid collectors out there who are willing
yeah, you've got stupid collectors out there putting weird balaclavas on faces and people with top hats on and things. So yeah, that's just something to, oh, this guy, this, like, we got something on the screen right now that is just fucking utter, unadulterated fucking bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit. I hate this guy, I really fucking hate him. Fucking hate this cunt. I absolutely fucking hate this guy. Really do. Fucking hate this guy. Oh, fuck off. Just look at the guts. Like, seriously? I mean, if somebody's like watching this shit, they've got to comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think on this fucking guy right here. Subscribe to this guy and fucking troll this guy. Yeah, I just fucking. I mean, come on, let's go. Let's just do this.
Welcome to the world of SNES-tastic.
Welcome to a complete lack of fucking personality. Oh, this music. Oh, this is fucking exciting. Actually, it is exciting. It is actually exciting compared to listening to this guy.
Hey guys, how you doing? Okay, so from the title you can see this video is all about upgrading picture quality.
2011. I don't want to see that old shit. I want new shit. 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago.
Hey there, how you doing?
Fuck off! Shut up! Videos. Uploads. Where are the uploads at? Right. See, the issue is this whole, like, I'm done with this, I'm done with that, I'm going to stop doing this, I'm going to stop doing that, I'm going to concentrate on this, I'm going to do that. Like, I have one rule with collecting shit, and that is, do not sell shit. So, if I suddenly decide I'm not going to collect for something, then I'm just going to stop collecting for it. I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to, do you know what I mean? Because I might just get that itch again, like, itch in my arms and shit. And go back to it and then be like, oh, God, let's fucking start from scratch again. And everything's like quadrupled in price. So, essentially, you got this fucking dickhead that sells all of his shit, says that it's like the worst thing ever, and then wants to buy it back like 6 months later. I mean, I'm putting it out there, so I don't know factually whether 6 months later is the right, whether them that I'm just making that up, to be honest, but yeah, it pretty much is that, something like that. And it's fucking Sky. And it does these like top 10 movies, or his vinyl pickups. And it's like, hey, I picked up some. No, that's it's like. No, it's more like, well, my name's Snaztastic, and hello, and I bought some vinyls, and the first vinyl I bought was Britney Spears, and I'm a big fan of Britney Spears, and it started when I saw her on the TV. It was, I think it was on the BBC, and yeah, from then on, I've been like a massive Britney Spears fan. And I've got all of her albums, and this is like the very special American import Britney Spears album, and like, fuck off. And you know when generally people hate something, for example, the Suicide Squad movie. The Suicide Squad movie is atrocious on many levels. This is the sort of person that will be like, I actually very much enjoyed Suicide Squad. I thought it was very good. I bought it on Blu-ray. I bought it on DVD. I couldn't buy it on VHS, so I recorded it to VHS by DVD. And yes, it's great. And fucking suck my motherfucking dick. Is all I'm going to say about that guy. Seriously. But he would actually like to do that, so that's not an invitation to do that. Let's just get that straight. People react to shit. Hold on. That's an idea. Like, imagine if somebody went on YouTube and started watching videos and reacted to them. And told you what they really thought about them. That is fucking genius. Why did I not think about that? Yeah, they're just very cringe videos. This guy here, Beatbox, he's a Canadian, weird. Yeah, he's like neither here nor there. Meh, pops up every so often. Who cares? Duck the console. Top 11 retro games ever. Ever. Hey bitch. Hey Panther, wanna eat your pussy? Yeah, thumb up your ass, bitch. What is it, goddamn misogynists on YouTube these days?
Before I get into the countdown, I just want to give a quick shout out and thank you to Luke.
To all my Patreon people and Loot Crate and PayPal donators and Twitch donators and all that shit.
All that good stuff.
All that good stuff. She's a fucking cunt. Hold on. I mean, like, just stop it with the pop vinyls. Like, grow up. They're worthless shit. Seriously, absolute worthless fucking shit. Fuck me.
I mean, as a wee little panzer, I was known as the duck murderer. That's not true.
I'll fucking murder you. This person is irritating me already. Right. No.
Frogger is an amazing game.
Just no. No, we're not all hipsters. Nobody gives a shit about Frogger. It's all about Crossy Road.
If for no other reason than that is the game where Yoshi was introduced, and Yoshi is not only one of my favorite Nintendo characters ever,
Like
he's
Nintendo?
one of my favorite
He's not Nintendo, he's like Nintendo. Fuck you, cunt.
Number 4 on my list is the Oregon
Can I just say as well, these, I mean, again, probably hypocritical from me. I've got one of these. If I'm quite tall, so I have to sculpt down, but I got one of these, like, Hello, I can get my hands in seats, chairs, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, but why does like everybody on the internet seem to have one of these DX Racer chairs? Like, are they free or just very cheap? I mean, I got this chair here because it's cheap. I mean, I've got a fucking. If I feel like a change, I'm kind of tethered to the thing over there. If I feel like a change, I had a motherfucking deck chair over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't fuck about that. There you go. Get back before the pet phone wire strangles me. But yes, everybody seems, well, every fucking American seems to have one. Yes, almost exclusively Americans have these fucking seats. She plays into my lines. That's the only positive I can get from this. Fucking fuck Pokemon. Grow up. Just grow up. Fucking crap. Donkey Dong again. I mean, Donkey Dong is one of those games. It's a, let's say,
Donkey Kong Country is an amazing
shut up.
game.
Yeah,
Oh
I can
my
turn the
God, I
volume
love that
down.
game. I actually
And now I
got
can
into
speak,
it
yes,
when I was in
because
high
I have
school,
that
which I
power
was
over
super
you,
weird.
you
Like, I
whore.
didn't have one when I was a kid, but I bought one when I was in high school.
It's one of
and
those
I
things,
got Donkey Kong for
graphics
it,
10
and
out
I
of
literally
10,
just, like, locked myself
gameplay
in my
7
bedroom
out
for
of
weekends
10, and
and
somehow
beat
that
Donkey
equals a
Kong,
9
which is
out
this
of
game
10
that I really
game.
played. It was already like 10
And
or
everybody's
15 years
like,
old at that point. And no, I had to
sucking
beat
that
it,
bit.
lock myself in the room.
No, not for me, not for me. It's a good game, it's a 8 out of 10 game, it's not a 9 out of 10 game. I don't want to see it on top 10 lists and stuff, top 11 lists, whatever your autistic tendencies tell you to upload to YouTube.
And he has that it probably so cool because he knew all the tricks to see Super Mario. Like, he would jump on the triple against the pipe and get all sorts of
check out like loads of times like.
on it, and they were all like mint.
What a fucking cunt. Absolute cunt. It's John Hancock. Another person off of Metal Jesus Sucks Cocks who should like just not associate himself with that guy. He has a massive, like, insane collection of hats, Alter Beast hats.
And there's a lot of people that get passionate about
And Gaming Expo t-shirts. But no, really, he does have like an insane collection in not a very big space, to be honest. I think he has a store and he has his personal collection in the back of the store or something. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I don't mind him. I just Metal Jesus, go fuck yourself. Let's hate on. I'll tell you, we can hate on because they need some hate. These guys, these fucking guys. Like, instantly what I see is like he's been blurred out. Like the transformation is like just insane of this guy, like into what a fucking douchebag he is nowadays. I think Jay is the guy with the hat, Billy is the fucking guy that wants to be the guy with the hat. You know what I mean? I mean, you can see it there. You part way to the transformation. He's got the same hat. We'll go 4 years ago. See if we can find him in here. Damn, sticking a wide load.
These are some of my Transformers.
Alright. Let's find this bastard.
Original that I had one.
I tell you. You're such a.
Right, okay, all we've got in this fucking video is close-ups of toys. Okay, maybe not the best fucking video to click on, to be honest.
On today's episode of the Game Chasers.
Telling us that we.
Oops, I don't know what this is. Jay gets it. Right, so originally, for example, if you see here on the left, this is what this guy looks like. He looks like a nerd. This guy's got big hair, thinks he's more muscular than he is on the right, but essentially, you know, just look at Billy, I think his name is. He's just a fucking geek. This guy's like a hairy. It kind of reminds me of like fucking Silent Bob or some shit. So yes, that is like what you have to keep in mind. Like people started watching this shit, and they did get up to a couple of years ago. They had like 100,000 subscribers, and then like I didn't watch them for about 2 years, and I just checked back out of curiosity. And then like basically you got this. I mean, this is in the back. You got that guy I was like, nah, that beat 'em up guy, whatever his name is. That I don't know where he's from. But yeah, I mean, it's the guy thinks he's fucking Jesus or something. He thinks he's like Rip. I mean, look. I'm only. How did I not notice that? I mean, just look at the top of the fucking screen here. Like originally, the guy on the left, Jay, was the vain one, and he didn't really make a big deal of it. He was just like a bit stocky. I won't say muscular because he's got quite a bit of fat on him, to be fair. But this guy here, he thinks he's fucking He-Man or something. He's fucking ridiculous. Like, and over 2 years they've gone from like 100,000 subscribers to 108, and the channel's like doing pathetically. Nearly as pathetic as mine, which keeps like wavering in and out of like the same amount of subscribers. But anyway, yes, it's. I hate these guys. They're so fucking annoying. They're just like, and if you sometimes if you look in the comment sections. There's nothing posted by them, but a lot of the time they're just douchebags in the comment section, like complaining about what people are saying and shit. It's like, dude, you pair of fucking dicks. That's why people don't like you. People don't like me, but at least I'm fine with that. I don't need to attack people. I'm just like, hey, taxi out of here, please. So I'm done now. I'm gonna order some takeaway, like live and shit. Keep it real live-o. What are we gonna watch whilst we do that? I'm gonna go and... No, we're already seen that game's back. I don't want to watch that game's back. We got any new shit? Ooh, cool compilation. I like anthologies. I like them. Here we go. Nah. I'm gonna order me some fucking big bag of meat and shit.
Hello and welcome to GameStack. This time around we're talking about some more compilation discs.
That's right. We've got some really good stuff here. A lot of stuff from Japan and even the USA. So this is going to be a good one to hang out for.
Yeah, so sit back and, well, let's just get into it.
I don't know where to order
on
from.
the Sega Dreamcast. This amazing disc contains 12 games.
Actually, I need a piss. I'm gonna go piss.
It includes 10 Genesis games such as Sonic the Hedgehog, Altered Beast, Golden Axe, The Revenge of Shinobi,
I'm gonna leave
Streets
the
of
door
Rage,
open so y'all can hear
Vector
me
Man,
piss.
Fantasy Star 2, Shining Force, Wrestle War, and yes, that's right, Columns. There's also 2 other games here, which I'll get to in a bit. But first off, let's check out some of these classic Genesis games. It must have been great to have so many games on a single disc, especially back in the year 2000, right? Well, not really, because the emulation here is just awful. I mean, check out Sonic the Hedgehog. Tell me, does that look right to you? Most of the games look fine most of the time, but there's definitely some sprite priority issues that pop up here and there. And on Shining Force, you can see that the original image is not scaled very well to the Dreamcast resolution, as there are nasty artifacts in the scrolling no matter which way the screen scrolls. But, you may ask, how does it sound? Well, here's how Altered Beast sounds like on a real Genesis.
Welcome to your doom.
Whoa, way cool, right? Well, here's how it sounds on the Smash Pack on the Dreamcast.
Fucking stinks in here. What the fuck is going on?
It sounds like a big-ass Master System that's been beaten with a baseball bat. You can tell that Sega didn't even care at all. Each game has these same atrocities. What's even worse is that you just know that this disc was a lot of people's first experience playing any Genesis games at all. And to me, that is just scary. Anyway, before each game begins, you can remap the buttons on your controller, which is nice, but you have no idea what each button does in the game until you play it. During the gameplay, you can access the menu by pressing all 4 face buttons and start on the controller. This will let you exit to the main menu, and the 2 games with battery backup will let you save. This isn't a save state, it just writes whatever in the game's backup RAM to the VMU, so be sure to do that. Included on this disc for the first time outside of Japan is Wrestle War. This is a port of a mediocre Sega arcade game where you do some wrestling. It's okay, but I'd really rather play it for the first time on a real console. Fortunately for me, I did because I had a store that rented Japanese Mega Drive games, but it's still a mediocre game. Also included is Sega Swirl. This is a legit Dreamcast game which was included on many demo discs and whatnot back in the day. It's a simple puzzle game where
What
you
is
try to
this?
clear the board of all the swirls and
She interested by this.
So here's how games look fine most not a column. Hedgehog on the Sega Dreamcast. Here's the Sega Smash Pack Volume 1 on the
Pretty aware of that
It isn't
one.
a save state, it just writes whatever in the game Dreamcast disappeared.
Interesting.
Don't bother calling for backup though. You deal justice one bullet
I
at a
want
time.
some food.
It plays exactly like the Saturn version, but everything has been improved. The graphics are now 4 times the resolution, jumping from 320 by 240 on the Saturn to 640 by 480 here. Yes, that's 4 times, not 2 times. The textures are also slightly better in this version, and it also features true transparency. The frame rate is still only 30 frames per second, but I'm betting the arcade version is the same way. The music is the same as the Saturn version, and it doesn't sound any better or worse, but the voices are much cleaner. Overall, this is the definitive home version of Virtua Cop 2 in my opinion, and that's what matters. I just wish that they had put the original House of the Dead on this disc instead of Virtua Cop 2. But then again, House of the Dead is probably not the best game to pack in with your video game system when you're trying to sell it to all age groups. Overall, the Sega Smash Pack Volume 1 is mostly bad with poor representations of great games, but it's worth having for Sega Swirl and Virtua Cop 2. And no, they never bothered with the Smash Pack Volume 2.
This is Midway presents Arcade's Greatest Hits, the Atari Collection 2. How's that for a long title? I mean, geez, why so freaking long? Anyways, this was released in 1998 only for the PlayStation, and it includes 6 games. Paperboy, Gauntlet, Road Blasters, Crystal Castles, Marble Madness, and Millipede. So 4 very solid games, and 2 that I don't really care for, but whatever, somebody might like them. One game that I don't care for is Crystal Castles, which I actually played
Yeah, I love
when was
Crystal
growing up.
Castles.
Nowadays,
Oh my
though, I
God.
just don't have any fun playing it. Millipede is the second game that really doesn't do anything for me. I mean, it's fun for a short while, and then I get bored of it very quickly. The other 4 games, though, I could play over and over, and you know what? I do. Gauntlet is the first one, and it's still very fun as long as you're not alone. That's because there's way too many enemies for your lone adventurer to handle, so it quickly gets frustrating. Luckily, the game supports the multi-tap for up to 4 players, which is when Gauntlet really shines. Road Blasters is another solid game that I played a bit when I was younger. There's something very appealing about driving and shooting other cars and collecting gas icons and other weapons. I was always enthralled with this game's smooth scaling, and it really holds up here on this release. You can control the game with the directional pad, but turning on the analog stick, that makes a huge
I'm
difference.
controlling games with my
As
dick.
you know, Marble Madness is one of my favorite arcade games ever. This was the main reason why I bought this disc back in the day. After playing the NES game for many years without the trackball, I got pretty good
Now,
at
not when you want food, but
I figured that this
you
version
just don't know where to
park,
order
and I'd
from.
be able to beat it with the
It's
PlayStation
hard.
directional pad.
Life is
And
hard.
I was wrong.
Fuck life.
It's much more
I'm
difficult.
gonna go kill
The
myself.
response time feels a bit sluggish, and it's not easy to get used to. It takes a lot more tries for me to get anywhere in this version. I still haven't beaten it to this day, but I'm sure it can be done, and you know what? I'm definitely going to keep trying. My love for this game is so strong that I just want to keep playing and playing and playing. The last game on this disc is Paperboy. This is another title that I spent a lot of time with playing in the arcade. I was a Paperboy in real life, and it wasn't anywhere near as fun as this game. Trying to make it through the week without losing customers is a lot harder than you'd think. As you're pedaling your way down the street, you've got to avoid some crazy-ass stuff. Cars, kids, breakdancers, zombies, people
Get me
fighting, dogs, cats,
final
and
beer
even
in my
if
possession.
lives on your street.
Open that
If
shit.
you can avoid all that, then
Turn
you're
the
right
heat
at the
out.
training course at the end of the block for some extra points. You've got to get your paper on the subscriber's porch or in the mailbox before
It's
you
warm.
get extra points.
Kind of warm.
If you miss
Kind
a
of warm
punch or
beer.
break a window, then they
That's
unsubscribe
not
and the
bad.
house becomes black. I love how they portray some of the unsubscribers' houses with gravestones and hearses and stuff like that. The game over screen is probably the best. It has a picture of you after you've fallen with one headline saying, "He was a real loser." Huh, gee, thanks. This is a solid arcade game that still holds up and is just as fun today as it was back in the 80s. Sadly, however, Paperboy will not work on a PlayStation 2. All of the other games will work fine, but Paperboy here flickers like crazy. But it will run fine on a PlayStation 1 and
That's
also a
scary.
PlayStation 3. And if you look closely, you can see some strange scaling artifacts that make edges and also the text look really weird. We contacted Digital Eclipse, who developed this disc, and Mike Mika told us that this was a certain interlaced high-res mode of the PlayStation that they used. Evidently, it's a pretty rare mode, and Sony dropped support for it in the PS2 because somehow they were probably able to save a few pennies. The PS3 uses emulation for its backwards compatibility, so it's easier to support there. As far as the disc goes, there's not a lot extra here. You have a gallery of all the games, which you can see pictures of arcade cabinets, the instruction manuals, and other artwork and paperwork. And these are fun to look at for about 3 minutes. Most of the games have an option for TV Safe mode, which fits everything on the screen. But there's also an arcade mode, which keeps the game in its original format. This is still a good compilation of games that I've had lots of fun playing over the years.
Here's Namco Museum on the PlayStation Volumes 1 through 5. Nowadays, Namco museums are everywhere on every platform, but it all started on the PlayStation here, and it was a pretty big deal at the time. Each disc usually has 6 different Namco games, though Volume 1 here has 7 with Pac-Man, Galaga, Pole Position, Bosconian, Rally X, New Rally X, and Toy Pop. Each disc also has a museum mode where you can wander through a polygonal space exploring items from the game's past. But yeah, you're probably only ever going to look at this stuff once. The games here aren't emulated, but rather ported to the PlayStation, but they're meant to mimic the arcade machines with similar boot-up sequences and such. Some games, like Pac-Man, had to be completely redrawn to be presented on a horizontal screen. But each game also has an option that can be accessed by pressing the triangle button, but only if the game isn't currently being played. Here you can set various dip switches for game options in the game, and also exit back to the main game selection menu. In vertical games, you can even select the vertical mode, like the arcade. Or tate for all you cool weebs out there. But you know, I'll always call it tate, because in this mode you rotate your screen to play it properly. You don't rotate your screen.
Oh, but it's a Japanese word, it's tate!
Still, having this option is always welcome. Pac-Man is a good game, but I probably spent most of my time in this volume with Galaga. This one just has a ridiculously addictive quality to it. Hell, even my girlfriend at the time played it a lot too. In fact, she used to have the high score, but I'm kind of competitive that way. Yeah, I'm kind of an ass, but that's okay. Bosconian is another cool one. You get to fly around and blow up space stations that aren't doing anything to you. Die, you stupid space station! How dare you exist? There's
Yeah,
even
die,
Rally
you
X, which
stupid
is kind of like
cunt.
Pac-Man, but with cars. And then there's New Rally X, which is kind of like Pac-Man, but with cars. And new! Volume 2 has Xevious, Gaplus, Super Pac-Man, which you don't really see home ports of very often, Mappy, Grobda, and Dragon Buster. What's interesting is that all but one of these are vertically oriented games. This isn't the best volume, but I did find Grobda to be pretty fun trying to blow up all of the other tanks. Gaplus is interesting as well. It's like Galaga, except you can move your ship vertically, and that feels really, really weird. However, you can also capture a bunch of enemies who will fight with you, and that's awesome. Mappy is here, and I guess a lot of people like that, but I've never really been able to get into it much, but it's here if you like it. Super Pac-Man tried to put a spin on the classic formula, and it's fun for a few minutes, I guess. Dragon Buster is a sole horizontally oriented game here, and it's a silly dungeon crawling hack and slash, I guess you'd say. Not bad, but it's not amazing. Namco Museum Volume 3 has Galaxian, Miss Pac-Man, Pole Position 2, Dig Dug, this weird game called Fozon, and the Tower of Druaga. First of all, they cleaned up the menus and such in this game. Now you can call up the menu with triangle when you press pause to reset the game, and from there you can press triangle to select from the game's options such as the screen setting and whatnot. No more loading all the way back to the option screen than reloading the game. But when the game does load, it's faster than the first two volumes did. That makes getting around this disc much less painful. Anyway, I like this one mainly because of Miss Pac-Man. I feel it's way better than regular-ass Pac-Man in every single way imaginable. Now, there may be some people who like the way the original works more because it's easier to score or predict patterns or whatever, but yeah, I don't care about that. Dig Dug is also one I had fun with in the arcade back in the day, so it's really nice to have it on here. Galaxian is cool, I guess, but you can never hope to match Galaga. Namco Museum 4 has some pretty big heavy hitters in my opinion, with Assault, Pac-Land, Ordine, The Return of Ishtar, and the Genji and Haiki class. These aren't just rinky-dink games from the early 80s. Most of these are pretty heavy 16-bit hitters. Pac-Land, as weird as it is a great game that features some fun platforming and button mashing. Basically, you've got to run through some stages and then run back through one of them. It takes a while to get used to, but I think I've finally grown to enjoy this game. When I first saw Assault in the arcades, it was the very first time that I saw rotation in any video game ever. I was totally blown away. I was like, whoa, that looks so cool. How'd they do that? Crazy. It's not amazing, but it's still fun to play. And come on, who wouldn't be impressed by Mode 7 back before there was
Me.
It's just too bad that it
I
doesn't
would not
support
be
Sony's
impressed by
Stick
anything.
or even the DualShock analog. The Genji and the Haiki class is sure a dumb name for a game. In fact, it looks a hell of a lot like Samurai Ghost on the TurboGrafx 16. It's not the same game though, as this one has overhead stages and also stages where your character is much smaller. Still though, it's a really fun and interesting game, and not something I'd expect to find here. Samurai Ghost is a way better game for sure. Ordine is a cool shooter that's a crap ton better in the arcade than it is on the TurboGrafx 16. Lots of cool rotation effects here and some great music. It's a fun shooter all around actually. I spent a hell of a lot of time with this disc, and it's definitely one that I'm going to be coming back to often. Namco Museum Volume 5 is pretty nice for the most part. It has Pac-Mania, The Legend of Valkyrie, Dragon Spirit, Baraduke, and Metrocross. Pac-Mania is a weird 3D isometric version of Pac-Man with a jump button. I don't know, it's not really my thing. Dragon Spirit is a good yet very unforgiving overhead shooter, but the excellent music is what's going to keep you coming back to this one. The Legend of Valkyrie is really cool. I remember playing this on the PC Engine, and of course the arcade version here is so much better. I like the scaling backgrounds, the soundtrack, and the hack and slash gameplay is pretty good too. This is the standout game on the disc for me. Metrocross is simple and kind of boring, but Baraduke is a bit more fun. Namco Museum Encore was actually Volume 6 and was only released in Japan. This one featured 7 games with Dragon Saber, Rompers, Wonder Momo, F this game by the way, Rolling Thunder, Sky Kid, Motos, and King in Balloon. Of course, Dragon Saber is an excellent follow-up to Dragon Spirit with some outstanding music. Rolling Thunder is another excellent game, and
Well, finally got me some food ordered.
The other games on here are pretty much throwaway titles, though. King and Balloon is kind of interesting. It's a Space Invaders clone where you have unlimited ships, but you need to prevent the king from getting kidnapped.
I've done like an unlimited amount of shits in my time. Like literally lots of shits. Interesting.
Greetings and welcome to an LGR thing. Today, I would like to answer a very broad topic. It's a question or set of questions that I get asked all the time ever since I've started LGR, and that is, what classic computer should I buy? Like, I want to get into playing old computer games. How do I do it? What's the best way for me? And you know what? That's just such a deep topic that goes all over the place that it's really hard to answer. I attempted to do this 7 or 8 years ago with a video titled What DOS PC Should You Buy? And while there are several things that I mentioned there that are still going to be brought up here because they're still relevant, there are several of the items that I would like to talk about that have gotten more expensive or harder to find. And beyond that, I don't want you to just take my word for it, so I have asked 9 other YouTubers to be a part of this video and give their input on the topic. These are not only all channels that I totally recommend and watch all the time, but I know that they are active in coming up with solutions to the kind of problems that we're going to be discussing today. So the question I asked each of them was, what is your go-to solution for playing old PC games, whether it be earlier Windows games or DOS games, pretty much anything from 1981 to 2001 or so. Yeah, there are just a lot of topics to cover on a variety of issues, so let's get right to it. So for this video, we'll be assuming that your goal is retro gaming, and for that, you'll really want to ask the question, what do you want to do with an old PC, or whatever solution that you happen to come up with? Because different games are going to require different things. And in regards to this, the most frequent questions that I get about this are, should I stick to pre-made computers from back in the day? Classic hardware from Compaq or Hewlett Packard or Dell or whoever? Or should I customize a slightly later machine with more modern components and then install stuff as needed for compatibility with older games? Or should I build my own classic computer from scratch using spare parts? Or should I maybe just skip all of that altogether and stick to emulation and virtual machines or buying games off of GOG? Before we get to that, my personal go-to pick for an old computer that I like to play old games on is the LGR Wood Grain 486. I mean, that's why I built it here on the channel after all. It serves my goal of imitating my first PC that I had as a kid, but it also has all the bells and whistles that I lusted after back in the day. And it's also covered in wood grain, which granted, you know, I customized that and made that happen myself, but, you know, I like that. And it also serves as a base for playing with early to mid 90s upgrades, because I don't like to just leave it static. I like to swap parts out and see what can be done in terms of appropriate hardware and software from the mid 90s. As it's configured right now, though, it is a 66 MHz AMD 486 DX2 CPU, has 16 megabytes of RAM, a 1 megabyte Diamond Speedstar Pro VLB video card, a Creative Sound Blaster Pro 2.0 sound card, 1.2 meg 5¼ inch floppy drive, and 1.44 meg 3.5 inch disk drive, a 4-speed CD-ROM drive, and it also has a flash card interface for convenient file transfers. You can do this either by compact flash or SD cards or any number of other solutions. And all of this is connected to an AOpen VI15G Socket 3
That's a fucked up motherboard. I got a slots on that. What the fuck?
With 256K of L2 cache installed and
ooh, look at them chips.
A standard CR2032 button battery. And that's actually one big reason I chose this board, is because many batteries on a lot of these older computers are going to have something that's going to leak. Look for one with a modern battery that is less prone to leaking. And something else that is absolutely not required, but I just quite happen to like it on these older machines, is this green display here, which shows the current speed of the computer in megahertz. This paired with a turbo button is extremely useful because a lot of games in the early 90s and late 80s looked for a slower CPU. button, you enable that, and it's going to slow down your computer. What it does exactly is going to vary depending on the computer you have, but generally it slows things down. I've done an entire video about this in the past, so if you're curious, you can check that out. As for the operating system, this thing runs MS-DOS 6.22, but I also have another compact flash card that I swap out with Windows 3.11.
Never actually owned
But the thing is, though, it doesn't
flash
stop
card.
there. This computer is great for a lot of things, but there are games earlier and later, and even around the same time, that are way more picky, and this is just not going to work with it, or at least it won't be ideal. I keep several early IBM PC compatibles hooked up for older games, like original IBM PCs with a 4.77 MHz 8088 and some with 8 MHz 286 CPU. These can be very valuable for early 80s games throughout around 1987 or so. And as far as sound, there's not much. These just come with a PC speaker, or in the case of my IBM AT, an ad-lib card. Yes, just the original ad-lib, which gives you that twangy FM synthesis sound. And it's also worth noting that if you get many, many later cards that are compatible with the Sound Blaster standard, they're going to give you that ad-lib FM synth sound, either in OPL2 or OPL3, or something emulating it. A slight step up from these are the 386 machines that I keep around, such as these computers that are around 16 to 25 megahertz, 386 SX or DX. These are amazing for games that run too fast on even a mid-range 486, but are too slow on a 286 or 8088. Perfect for earlier VGA games and later EGA games, and I usually pair these kind of things with a Sound Blaster 2.0 or equivalent. I also keep several machines set up with Windows 3.1 and 95 on there all the time, and these have anything from a 100 MHz 486 DX4 CPU all the way up to a 233 MHz Pentium MMX, usually with SVGA, a Sound Blaster 16, or one of those clones from the time period.
So
And finally, for
essentially,
later
at the
90s
minute,
Windows gaming, I largely...
Essentially, at the minute where we stand is we're at 2 likes on this stream. So if I get 3 likes, I'm gonna eat the kebab live. So can we get a 3rd like? Does people want to see me do that?
Please stick to Windows 98 2nd Edition and Windows XP machines. Something with around an 800 MHz Pentium 3 on up to a 2.4 GHz Pentium 4, depending on what I need.
That's like a
graphics are
50%
what I
increase,
stick
and
to
that's
for these
alright.
for the most part, since these supply 3DFX Glide mode, which is an incredibly popular thing. It's different than Direct3D and OpenGL, so that's worth keeping in mind. And some of the later ones, I'll stick a NVIDIA GeForce 2 or 8800 Ultra in there. And as far as displays, I typically recommend going with a CRT if at all possible. It takes up a lot of space, but the result is fantastic in terms of reproduction of what the games were originally supposed to look like. And while I do still use certain older LCDs every so often, it's only if they're the right aspect ratio and don't do weird things with the scaling, because sometimes you can end up with stuff that looks blurred or the pixels aren't the correct size. You don't always have square pixels in these older games. And typically, as far as sound cards go, you do want something a little better than Sound Blaster 16 for Windows 98 2nd Edition or Windows XP. Something like the Aureal Vortex 2, which provides A3D, a fantastic early 3D standard. I use that in a couple of my machines. And yes, Windows 98 is still built on top of MS-DOS, so things run quite well in DOS mode for the most part, but you do want to watch out for compatibility issues in terms of graphics, sound, and CPU speed. And I'm not really going to talk about Windows XP since it doesn't really have a proper DOS mode, and that's getting into DOSBox territory, and you can start moving on to emulation and virtual machines anyway. With all that being said, though, there are so many other points of view on these kinds of topics. So, without further ado, let's get to our guests in no particular order, and we're going to start with Nostalgia Nerd.
Hello, my name is Nostalgia Nerd, and when it comes to DOS
Guy's actually
gaming,
quite good,
this is all I need.
This thing being a compact Presario 4100. As the name suggests, under the hood is an Intel DX4, a clock-tripled 486, and really the creme de la creme of Intel 486 processors. I've slotted a Sound Blaster 16 and CD-ROM drive in mine, as well as upgrade to a whopping 32 megabytes of RAM and 2 GB hard drive to create a machine that would have blown the minds and swollen tear ducts in 1994. This machine is from the era of gaming I love the most. I could always use a Pentium, but there's something about pushing the 486 to its limits that I find pleasing. Doom runs smooth as silk, and while it might struggle with some later games, I actually quite like that. It also has a snazzy BIOS menu, and I find the pairing of MS-DOS 6.22 and Windows 3.11 to be the peak of civilization. Not to mention, it's very aesthetically pleasing to look at, even with a 17-inch CRT plonked on top. All of these things combined make this my go-to machine for DOS gaming.
Well, as you might imagine, this is very much a viewpoint that I can get behind. Sometimes a good, decent 486 is really all you need. It's not the fastest, but it doesn't need to be. A lot of times those limitations can be fun, and admittedly, tweaking and getting games to work that maybe shouldn't on a slightly slower computer is a lot of the appeal of running games on older hardware, at least for me. And really, a 100 megahertz DX4 machine is plenty. In fact, I'm also very fond of these compact Studios or whatever. They're very cool machines. I love my Model 425 right here. It's an all-in-one box. It's kind of a great middle ground of having a full-size desktop, but also smaller space is taking up, and it has a CRT, and it's very capable with the components inside. But anyway, let's move on to another point of view, and that is from Metal Jesus Rocks.
Hey guys, Metal Jesus here. Now, in my retro gaming PC, I was looking for something that perfectly encapsulated, say, 1998 and 1999. Something that would run,
being
say,
stream sniped
Battle
here, because why the fuck has this dickhead infiltrated my channel?
and also Septerra Core, and all the rest of these games
I'm
that I have
not
behind me here.
this.
Something that would run DOS and also
you,
Windows
one
98.
day,
So what I ended up doing was starting with this Dell. This is an XPS R400. It has a Intel Pentium 2 processor in there. Then we maxed out the motherboard with 384 megabytes of RAM, I believe. But as you guys know, it's the video card and the sound card that determine how well all these games play. So for this machine, we put a 3FX Voodoo 3 in there. 3000 is the model number.
Fast forward, get
Other
him out of
times
my
you
face.
just don't have things working how you should, and it's weird. I don't know. I've had
So
that
we've
happen
got
on
two
several of my computers
people
in that sort of late 90s, early 2000s
watching,
era.
not
And then the other
one
thing
of
to
you
mention
can
there is
like
that
this shit.
while there are
And just,
external
like,
3.5
get
inch
the
drives
grease
for
all over my
older
lap.
computers and
You
more
want
modern
the
ones
grease
as well over USB,
everywhere,
5.25 inch, you're kind of stuck with an internal one.
Holy kebab.
There are some adapters that let you use 5.25 inch drives on USB, but it's only a read-only thing for the most part. Writing is off if you wanted to get it working externally, so something to keep in mind. Anyway, next person on the list is going to be Ancient DOS Games.
Allegedly, we got
So when it
free
comes to DOS
videos
gaming,
and
you might
those
think I'd be the kind of person who would prefer to
I
use
don't know
real hardware.
what's going on in the
But quite
fucking
frankly,
conspiracy.
I just like
Who
emulating
is
it
this
on
guy?
my machine.
Who
Here's
is
the
this?
thing. If you want to use
That
real
guy
hardware for
looks
playing
like he's
DOS
ate
games,
so much
sure, it's
McDonald's,
perfectly
it's
valid
like
option. It's
dedicated
just
his
you
hair
kind of need
to
like
a
3 different
McDonald's
machines to cover the whole gamut. You need something for the 80s, you need something for the
slob.
early 90s, and you need something for the mid to late 90s. So with DOSBox, which is a DOS emulator, you can just emulate all of those settings. You can set your machine speed, you can set the type of video support.
I've not
you
got
can
my
set up the
headphones. I
audio
can't hear what he's
devices.
saying.
You know
I
what
want
the
to hear
best
what
part
he's
is?
saying.
Let's say you want to play
Digit.
with the joystick. If you're using a real
How
DOS machine,
fat
you're
is
limited
the
to a
back of his
4-button
hand?
joystick. But with DOSBox,
Fatter than your mum,
you
innit?
have access
What?
to pretty much any
Put
kind of
that down,
joystick.
put
And the
that
best
down.
part is that because you're
You
not
look
limited to 4
stupid.
buttons, you could just assign any button to any keyboard key, or heck, put joystick support into a DOS game that doesn't even have it.
Well, here we're starting to get into the DOSBox side of things, as you might imagine if you've ever seen his show. He's always talking about
Still
all these
two
different
likes,
configurations
there's
that
no
you can
comments.
use for every single game that he
No
covers. It's like, this is
comments.
the type of
What is
thing
wrong
you want to
with
do
bitches?
with DOSBox. Especially when you get to things like joysticks, because there are an awful lot of extra
What did I say?
options for
5
DOSBox,
minutes
which
now.
is nice because he's right. You
20
really do
past
need
8.
at least 3 computers to get the
motherfucking
best
T.
situation of these different eras,
Not to
the
be
80s,
confused
early
with
90s,
G&T,
mid 90s,
because
in
I
my
was
case,
drinking
the fourth
earlier,
era,
like,
late 90s, early 2000s. And that's
Strongbow
why I
Dark
have so many
Fruits is
dozens
like
of PC
double
setups lying
gin.
around. But if you don't want to do that, DOSBox
new
is
thing I
great.
invented.
It's customizable,
Call it
expandable,
gin and chronic.
and there are extra builds other than just the base DOSBox build One that I'm quite fond of is DOSBox SVN. It allows for things like 3DFX support and all sorts of extra cool stuff like that. And I mean, there are just plenty of them out there. I recommend diving into that world of DOSBox spin-offs. Speaking of which, let's move on to the next person, which is Pushing Up Roses.
When I was young, I had a Tandy 1000 and a lot of great games for it, but when I upgraded to my Windows machine, I found I could no longer play them. Compatibility issues were way more prominent in the 90s and early 2000s, and when I found DOSBox, I found a brand new way to play my old games on my new machine.
CPU is an NVIDIA GeForce 4 Ti 4200. It's got 512 megabytes on it. I hope that's good.
Jesus! Oh no, it's not gonna be it. It can't be Jesus.
Well, one more point here in the favor of pre-built computers, and I'm totally on board. Getting something like this off of eBay or wherever is a great option because usually, even if it's a little bit lower than the area you're wanting to play games on, if it's not going beyond a certain point, it's still going to work for the vast majority of games. And in fact, the most common recommendation I give for people is just get a Windows 98 computer, stick some components in there that are going to be compatible if you need them, namely the
funny when people zoom in and you can just tell the degradation.
Like you also mentioned, upgrading is a bit of a concern, and sometimes you're limited
if
by
I
the
move my
form
head
factor,
forward,
like
I'm not
in
degrading
the case of these Vectras, which
the
I
quality.
really quite like. I have a lot of them myself, but
if I just
sometimes
like
you're
sit
limited
here
by the
and then
space
use the
inside
camera,
of there because it's all
I
cramped,
use the editing
and it's just
software
not as
to
convenient to work on as
zoom
a
in.
tower. These horizontal desktops,
I am
as
degrading
nostalgic as I can get for
the
them,
quality
they can be a bit of an aggravation to work
Why
on
do you do that?
internally.
It's
That being
obvious.
said, let's go
There we
ahead
go
and
again.
get Retro Man Cave's perspective.
Stop that.
My go-to classic hardware for playing
like the
older
last shit I
games.
took.
For me, it
The
starts
last
with
shit I
the
took
486
pretty
DX266.
fucking
It fits perfectly with the era
bad
of early
looking, to be
90s
honest.
games
It's
that I like to
fucking
play.
stunk, it
Powerful
hurt my
enough to tackle any
arsehole,
game of that
involved
time,
like kebabs
while not being
and
so fast that
peanuts,
old games without speed limiting
So,
don't run too quickly or can
we're at
easily
20
be
past
resolved.
8
I'm
and
certainly not a purist when it comes to classic hardware.
yeah, I'm
Nobody
gonna
has
cut the
fond
stream
memories
off
of single-speed
because we
CD-ROM
couldn't get that
drives.
third
I go
like.
for the fastest I can put
So,
in, and an
I'm
easily accessible
fucking
compact
out of
flash
here.
drive replaces the hard disk, making transferring games to
Eat
it from a
my
modern
shit box.
system